I won't protect anyone who is intentionally or has intentionally attempted to hurt me. So I am one of those people who want the best for everybody. I pray for us every day. You know, may we all be free from suffering. May we all be happy, healthy, peaceful, and free. May there be peace. So anytime someone's like, and this is literally, I've been doing that, like gratitude prayer, loving kindness, compassion prayer for over 25 years. I'm 46, so since I was late teens, and so that's every day. And a lot of the times through my life, I was just practicing love. I just, I was projecting love. I didn't realize how much I was projecting on others, and to the extent that I didn't see clearly nefarious energies, or I kind of knew, but it wasn't to the extent that I know now. And because the love and the desire for us all to win, for us to, any wish that, somebody wanted a house, somebody wanted a dog, somebody wanted to be married, did I say job? Get it? Anything that people were really want, especially in the realms of relationships, like reconciliation with family members. I'm speaking mainly LGBTQ people, because I came out when I was 16. So, and that was in the 90s, and you can imagine what that was like in the 90s. And to be who I am now, sometimes I'm like, when people are not being nice or being homophobic or transphobic and stuff like that, I'm like, you're about 30 years too late or 20 years too late. I'm not a teenager anymore, and even as a teenager, I stick up for myself. So and I don't have that. I don't have to do that, but I do defend others. If I see people being mistreated or talked about and stuff like that, I'll step in. So I had I had an incident this morning at the shelter, and more than one, but this is the first time that I've ever, I was gonna say yelled, but it wasn't exactly a yell. It was like a somebody asked. I gotta tell the story since I don't know. So I was asking for a towel, a clean towel, and we're supposed to bring our old towel into trade-in. That is something that people have been supposed to do. Usually I'll put it in a bag because laundry goes out Monday and Wednesday and Friday. So I'll try to do this on a Monday. Okay. So I try to do this on one of the days that all of the laundry goes out, our personal laundry and the laundry at the facility. And so yesterday I needed a towel, so I asked for a towel. And when I got the towel, the person who was, it's really like not a lot of people on the weekends, like even people who stay there, it's just like really blank. So there was like, we were all kind of talking, and they were like, yeah, people don't bring the towels back, and da-da-da-da, and we were walking. And we were talking about how, I don't want to really get into that, but the main thing was that if you get a new towel, bring an old towel. And so this morning, because that towel was dirty, and it's not just from using it yesterday, it was, it fell on the ground. I dumped it on the ground twice on the way back to the dorm, and then it wasn't all the way dry, so I had to put it on this thing for it to dry. So the towel is not clean, and when you're living with a bunch of people, anybody who's ever lived in a shelter knows that people don't really clean up after themselves. So there's a good amount of us who clean, and a lot of us have to clean before we get clean, and then we make sure that it's clean after for the next person. So there's some of us who do that. There's the majority don't. And so in the bathroom, of course, I'm always having to clean the bathroom at different times of the day. And so, but before the shower, for sure, clean the area with the wipe and, all of that. So I bring that up to say that out of all the, sometimes there's not soap in the bathroom, sometimes there's not paper towels in the bathroom, sometimes, very rarely there's not toilet tissue. But I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of, I want, when I get out of the shower, to have something clean touching my skin if possible, and it is possible. So, and if I have my own place, we had talked about that, you know, you wash maybe 2 or 3 times a week. Some people wash once a week, or some people have multiple towels and they just straighten them out, right? So I do know this is part, being in a shelter thing, is part of, you know, the little things matter. I don't know how to describe it. It's just, there's just been a lot of stress. I've been up since I was, it's funny, I was about to say I've been up since I was 3. That's another story. I've been up since 3 a.m. And it's because somebody next to me was making noise, going through stuff, and we're not, it's supposed to be quiet hours between 10 and 7. And so, that doesn't happen, and it wasn't happening, so I got up. And there's a thing, if you wake up between, if I wake up between 3 and 5, there's prayer. If I wake up between 5 and 7, there's a different prayer that I do. So I went out and I did that. I did my shot because it was time for, and that's my tea shot. And I had 2 cups of tea, and I sat in the garden, so that was cool. And then there are people around, like milling around and stuff like that. There's always people up. One of the teas I had was green tea with ginger. It's green tea probiotics, ginger, and then I added cinnamon. And the other one is my favorite, is lemon ginger tea probiotics, and then I added a little cinnamon. And I just started adding the cinnamon in the last few days. I used to do it when I lived alone and stuff like that. But I was just like, oh, I could add that. I can add that back, since I can't have fresh lemons because there's no refrigerator. So I'm just trying to figure out ways to help my digestion starting early, and or before I go to bed. So I did that, and then I did a little meditation, a little stretching, which felt good. And I thought, oh, when I get up later, I will maybe do yoga, because there's like a workout area, or, you know, and I have my own mat that one of the staff members brought me. So so there's ways to, I've been wanting to take better care of my body than I have the last couple weeks, and just to get more back into a routine so I can make the next steps forward in my journey to, having financial resources to care for myself in a way that is conducive to my health, right? So health first. And so, or what I feel like I can do myself first. It's there's mental stuff, you know. So, and I do have a psychiatrist, so I'm on the waiting list for a therapist. And even though I don't have to explain that, I just wanted to say that. So, anyways, this morning I see that the laundry hasn't been picked up yet. It's around 9 o'clock. I see that the laundry hasn't been picked up. So there's bags for the whole facility. So I have this one towel. I don't like to just get a bag for that one towel. So I went to go get gloves to open the bag to put the towel in. And while I was getting the gloves, there's 2 staff members. So I was asking, can I get a new towel? Which is near where the laundry gets picked up. It's not too far from that. So, just trying to be economical with my time and my steps, and then asking for things, which is a thing, sometimes you have to ask for. Okay. So I get the gloves, and then the person that I got into it with asked, what can I get you, or something like that. And I said, I need a towel. I need to trade this out for a towel. And then she said, didn't you just ask for a towel yesterday? And I said, I talked to Michelle. I talked to this person yesterday, and she said and we talked about stuff, and she said if I want to get a new towel, just trade in the old one, just so they could keep track, right? And then she said, but did you ask for a towel yesterday? So I'm looking at her, and I said, and I repeated, I was like, yeah, I was like, this is the towel from yesterday, because I'm holding it, and it's like, it's folded. And I said, and then she asked again, and I said, so she asked 3 times, and I said, I realized she wanted me to say yes, and because she's asking me a question and I didn't answer the way that she wanted. And so I said, yes. And then it's like a slap. And that's the loudest that I've gotten with anybody, or the crankiest that I've gotten with anybody. And there are people who have been trying me the last 2 or 3 years. And so and I know how this sounds, because I usually just kind of keep my cool on my tone like this. Even if I'm upset, this is the tone that I'll have. It's like a firm tone, right? But I barked yes, and I did it in a way that was like a slap. That's what it felt. There was so much energy behind that. And then she said, we haven't had a problem before, I don't want to have a problem. And then another staff member came up, and because I don't behave that way. And I think I talked to that staff member later, and it was like she could see my body language, so she was like, let me get you away from this, and so and before I left, I said, I'm sorry for speaking to you that way. I'm sorry for raising my voice. And she said, I forgive you. And then we had a little other exchange, and I said, so, you forgive me? And she said, I just said I did. So I wanted confirmation for other reasons, spiritual reasons, we have spoken, and that's what's that, right? It's hard to describe. I won't get into that. There's a rhythm to how people communicate, and being responsive in the moment is something that is important to me. So I was upset because for me, and I ended up going to get the towel and talking about it, and we were leaving it as we're going to be okay from here. But I was hot, and my anger was disproportionate to the situation because there's other things going on. And so but I realized, and this is something that I couldn't say because it wasn't about that, but why I was upset was that she was asking me something she knew the answer to, because she was there yesterday when I asked for the towel. So she was asking me something that she already knew the answer to, and I don't like that. And then I had answered the question, not the first time. The first time I said, blah, 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 I talked to her. Then I said, this is the towel that I got yesterday, and I just went straight in it. It's clearly in my mind, and this is happening really fast in the conversation. This is me thinking about it later. But I'm like, what's the issue here? And it felt like a power thing. It felt like she wanted me to communicate in a way that she wanted me to answer. And then I felt like if I would have said yes from the beginning, she would have said, well, why do you need a new towel today? I felt like it was going to be a whole conversation that I did not want to have, that I had just had yesterday. So that's why I was kind of insistent, well, if I have this old towel, I can trade it in, blah, blah, blah. So that happened, and it's been about 2 hours since then, and this is a 13-minute video. So I'll just count it as a journal. Hopefully whoever's watching this is enjoying my daily journal for today. I'm at the river. I have not been over in this spot for over a month, because last time I was here, I got attacked, and it was one of the guys he picked up a rock to him. He told me to get out of here. It was this whole thing. He called me an N-word. It was this weird interaction, and I had thought about, because I wasn't rushing to leave. I was like this. I was sitting here like this. I'm on a rock. So I was sitting there like this. He picks up a rock, and he's over me, and he's like, he's threatening to throw the rock at me, and things could happen like this, and I'm like, am I gonna get hit with a rock? Is this the way am I gonna be in the hospital? Is this the way I'm gonna die? Really? So I'm thinking all this, and he's like, get out of here. So I start to get my bike and stuff out, and I'm not rushing or anything, because I'm already like, I have my own little, I don't want to say temper or pride, but it's part that. It's more like, you're threatening me, you're either gonna hurt me or you're not. I'm getting my stuff. If you're gonna be an asshole, you're gonna be an asshole. If this is how it's gonna go, this is how it's gonna go, but I'm not gonna rush. It could be the tourist part. It's not the tourist part. So I get my stuff, and then I ride that way. And as I'm riding that way, I'm like, okay, am I gonna let this go? If I see a police officer, am I gonna say anything? Blah, 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 And then, cause sometimes bike cops ride around. And then I rode for 5 minutes, and I decided to come back. And I saw this big kind of wooden tree stump thing, and I was like, I'm gonna grab that, and I'm gonna beat right? And then I'm like, wait, because I'm not like that, right? So this is so I talked to somebody later, a Christian woman, and she said it was the spirit of provocation. I don't know if that's the right word, but she was like, we don't fight flesh, we fight principalities. And so I realized that I was being provoked. But in that moment of deciding not to pick up that wooden branch thing and come beat him in his head, because that would be jail, that would be assault, that would be like I returned when nothing had escalated. These had just been words and a threat. And I realized in that moment how many people, the whole gun thing, like how many people leave situations and come back with their weapon or with friends, because it felt so disrespectful and so threatening, and you feel so, I didn't feel weak, I felt like, dang, this disrespected, and feeling like there's nothing I could do, but wanting to match that and be like, I'm gonna go further. And so I realized it was a very important scenario, because it really put me in a space of like, ooh, I know why there's some people in jail, some people who went back, some people who lost their lives because they went back, and maybe, so I was like, yeah, it was a feeling of I can't let this go, I gotta get this. But luckily for me, I could let it go. So I turned around and left. So I haven't been back since. This used to be my spot. So because I was kind of upset today, I decided to, after the incident, I got the towel. It was still hot, I couldn't settle myself down, and I had already done my morning prayers, I'd already done my stretches. And when I've done things to take care of my mind and my body and my nervous system, and then something, and it's very rare, but if something still is happening, I know I need to leave the area and do something else. And so I needed to get the physical, the blood flowing in a different way. And so I was riding, and I was gonna ride, it's a 4 or 5 mile ride to my pharmacy. So I was gonna do that, and it's not the midpoint, I have a couple more miles to go, but I was like, oh, I'll stop here, I haven't stopped here, there's somebody here, and I won't stop. And I don't know if you can see, it's super sunny, so it's not the best time to be hanging out on the rocks. But last summer I sometimes would hang out on the rocks like a lizard. So I was just like, I would take my socks and my shoes off, and I don't know if you can see, there's a flatter rock and there's a flatter rock there. I can't tell if the camera can see that, but I would do that, but I haven't. This summer there's a lot going on. The art, my ink drawings, learning how to draw, the painting is going well. The painting is always, I love painting. And so what was I saying? So I haven't been back up here, so it's nice to be here. And I thought that I would make a little video, and it wasn't going to be this long, and it was going to be about, what I started out with is like, I'm not going to protect anybody who purposely tries to harm me. And all these feelings, like I said, it was disproportionate to the situation that happened. So it was bringing up, and I'm detoxing, so things are coming up in my body. So I was bringing back situations of past relationships where I have sincerely wanted the best for people, and then to find out that they were jealous of me, talking about me behind my back, or intentionally wishing me harm. And if they're doing that, I felt like, oh, well, I understand why they're doing it. They're hurt. They don't know any better. They're healing. There's the golden rule: treat others how, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Everybody has heard that. It's every culture has a saying like that. It's not a religious thing. So that's one of the things that has changed for me in the last couple of years, is that I'm with adults. I used to work with children 3 to 5 years. That's different. We're teaching them how to be social, and teaching them. Well, I was interested in emotional regulation and language acquisition. So there's, but I'm with adults where we know better. And so there has been a lot less leeway in the last couple of years, and that's also just because I left my old life, or my old life fell away. You know, people passed, relationships broke up, friendships ended for a number of reasons, and it's allowed me to see differently, to walk through the world differently, to love myself in a different way, and to I was going to say to discern relationships. It's not the exact right word, but it's to know that I'm good, and that nobody needs to be picked on and intentionally hurt, physically, mentally, emotionally, intimately. I feel like if people want to hurt people, just go away. If you absolutely feel like you have to hurt someone, there is professional help, but it's also like, you have your body, you have your life, you do that, but do not harm someone else. Do not intentionally harm a child. Don't do these things, because it doesn't. It feels anti-life. It feels anti-love. It's just, and so that's my point. I feel like if somebody's trying to do that, they're not only working against me and what I find that I pray for all of us, for all the beings and all of creation, it is against themselves too. You know, and I feel like it's interference, so I don't have time for that. And so I just, it was the short video was going to be, I will not protect people who purposely harm me or others. And I feel like I still didn't explain that. Protect, because I always defend, and I'm always, well, they didn't. That's what I mean. Like, no, if they're on their own, my energy no longer will go towards at all, towards anybody who wishes me harm or intentionally tries to harm me in any way. It's a cutoff. There's just neutrality. There's no like this, you gotta be punished, none of that. So my energy is no longer going towards your well-being in a direct way. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And maybe one day I can make this shorter, but more succinct without so much explanation. But I guess I needed to talk this out. And I think I'm feeling a bit insecure about a number of things. So I wear these orange glasses over my glasses, and they're blue light filter glasses. The brand is No Cry, and they're from Amazon. They're $16, and they have literally changed my whole life. I've been wearing them for since November, I think, of 2022, and I got them because I am a writer, and I work at night, and so the typing and the looking at the screen, I wanted to not have that. I wanted to help mitigate pain. And so I had done some research, and I found these glasses, and I thought, oh, okay. And they're over the glasses. I think I had found them because of a dentist wearing her clear ones over the glasses. And you know how we all were wearing, a lot of us were wearing masks. It didn't fog up the glasses. So I thought there's a bunch of things that were good about it. But when I put them on, 90% of my, when I put them on, my whole nervous system, my whole body relaxed. And so I wear them 90% of the time, because I just, they're very rarely off. My whole body. And then I thought maybe I was just tripping. No, it's just literally everything relaxes. So I pretty much live in a perpetual sunset or sunrise. It's like this, it's this, you know, and so I consider them medicine. And I brought that up is that the glasses underneath, these glasses are from 2015, the 2015 prescription. It's 2024. I had a prescription, I think that was like 2017 or 2018, but I lost those glasses in May of 2021. So I had these glasses that I still had somewhere, like saved. And so I've been wearing them. And I got my eyes checked a couple years ago because I went to get glasses, but I didn't have enough for high index lenses, which is to get the size down, because my glasses would be Coke bottle glasses. And so I don't know if I'll be able to show this properly, but it's sized down, and I think that it's 1.66 or 1.88. I can't remember. I don't think it's 1.33, but it costs extra to do that, and between 150 to 250, depending what else you have in the lenses. But I've always paid for my own glasses ever since I was 18. So not insurance, because I didn't like to deal with, I like to get what I want. So a lot of times my frames were expensive, my lenses were the best that I could get, and the justification for glasses and shoes is that our feet are important and I need to see. And so, and whatever I spend, it becomes pennies or nickels per day, how long I have the glasses. So it's very much worth it to me. So this is the first time that I haven't had the money to buy my own glasses and my own eye exam and stuff. So I got the eye exam last time, and Medical couldn't cover it, the high index, and I needed bifocals. So the doctor had said with polycarbonate or plastic lenses, it would only just show up in the center. It still wouldn't show up. For my prescription, it wouldn't. Those kind of glasses wouldn't work. So I was just like, oh, maybe in the next year I'll have money to. So I decided to get my eyes checked. I went to my regular. I have a new primary care physician. I went to him a month ago, and we were talking about my health, and he was like, what, you haven't got your eyes checked? So he did a referral. So I had an appointment on Friday or Thursday, and I got my eyes checked, and they're negative 12.75 and negative 12. Medical only covers up to negative 10. So the previous doctor didn't say that. I was at negative 11.75 the last time I went. It was just, maybe he didn't know, but this doctor knew, because he said he's been there for a little over a year and a half. He said he's seen over 2,000 patients, and only 3 of us have had prescriptions higher than what Medical will cover. And so I am calling the plan. I called the plan for Medical that I have, and they were sending me, they were supposed to send me an email of doctors that I could go to see if there's a way, because it is medically necessary. And also, when I was talking to the optometrist, I was like, it's the fact that we have to pay to see is just the weirdest thing. Like, we need our eyes, we need to be in society, and so I have to just see about that. That's funny. I'm telling you to see, but yeah. So that's something that I was thinking about, because I didn't get the email, and I think this was Friday when I called, so I have to do that today. Medication for things that are going on with my body, and there's just a lot of things going on that I also am kind of skipping over because I'm working these things out, and so I think I'm talked out. I guess I'm under a lot of stress. I'm feeling a lot of stress. I know that I am when I'm listening to the Harry Potter series again, or certain books in the series, audio from the library, Jim Dale's version. I really like Stephen Fry's version a lot. Though that copy is on my computer and that's in storage. But when I'm listening to the Harry Potter books, I was in school for 8 years in my 30s, and I got 2 degrees, and I was always listening to them kind of in a loop. And so between the 2 audio readers and the 7 books, it was 14 books, and I would just listen to them all year. And it's because they always have homework. So I felt a kinship with the kids, because they always had homework, and they were always battling evil and like having these adventures and just being teenagers, and just, so for me it helped with stress. And so right now I'm listening to Prisoner of Azkaban, and yeah, so I think I'm gonna put that on right after this. I brought that up to say I'm realizing how stressed I am if I'm listening to them right now, because it it really, they're comforting, and it makes me know how much is going on, because it's like I need that parallel of and that encouragement. Um, and this has been good and therapeutic. I really appreciate anybody who's watched, especially to this far. Thank you. Thank you for being a witness, and thank you for your time and energy, which is a precious resource, as you are. So yeah. Endojé.